All right, we're back with another solve analysis. It's been a while since we've done one. We have a special guest. We have Bailey Burns. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bailey Burns, just like Kevin said. I'm a Rubik's ambassador. I'm also like an aerospace engineer, and my big emphasis is like space stuff. So I'm actually using Rubik's cubes to like study cognitive ability for astronaut candidate types. So I have a very different background in Rubik's cubes than most people. And to do so, I have to be able to solve a Rubik's cube in 20 seconds for the experiment I'm trying to do. So I'm suddenly becoming a speed cuber without meaning to, and Kevin graciously said he would help me do that. So bear with me here, guys. I'm new to this world, but I'm really excited to learn.
Yeah, how long do you have to be sub 20?
What'd you say?
How long do you have to be sub 20?
Like until when, or what do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, like how long? Like
Well,
what date?
so originally the flight was in December, but with COVID, because we have to go to Canada, and Canada is like super strict right now. It's looking like it might be like, maybe next year sometime. Like, so I might have more time to figure out this Rubik's thing.
Cool. So who is that? Oh, just went over that. Okay, here's my normal. These are my questions I always have for everyone that does these. What do you consider to be the best part of your solve? Wait, okay. So we're doing 3x3. What's your normal average
Yeah.
time?
Um, I would say somewhere between like 23 to 26, 27 seconds. It's still kind of fluctuating, but somewhere in there. I guess that'd be an average of 25.
Yeah. All right. So we got. You're already pretty solid. I'm 25, and we need to get to under 20. It's only five. That's like 20% off, which is a significant drop, but not like. Yeah, it's not like it's. You're still like in the. You're still in the realm of the time where like it's pretty easy to drop time fairly quickly. Okay, what do you consider to be the best part of your solve?
Oh gosh. I think I'm getting pretty good with the crosses at the beginning because that took me some time. So I'm getting better at those. And then the last, like, the O and the P part of C fob, I'm getting better at those. Probably the P skill. But
All right, what's the worst part?
the two layers, man, those kill me. Like,
First
those are
two.
like 10 to 15 seconds every time. Like, I cannot get those down.
Let's see. What and then what's your yeah? How much are you practicing per week on average?
Oh man. So I do at least 10 solves a day. Um, like in the morning, first thing when I wake up. On top of that, I would say I just kind of do it whenever, like whenever I get a down second, when I'm in a meeting at work or school or something like that. I just kind of, practice. It's been a little while since I've actually sat down and like looked at algorithms because I know there's a lot more algorithms that I need to learn.
Right.
I've got my let's see, I got my cheat sheet. I gotta learn them, but yeah, it's been a while since I've sat down to do that.
Okay, cool. We can go over that more at the end ish.
Cool.
But yeah, all right. We'll get into it. We got solve one here. Um, First thing, always a good idea. Do you have a timer on your phone?
I'm sorry, say that one more
Do you
time.
have a timer on your phone?
I do.
Yeah, you should use one of those. Even iPhone. I'm assuming. I'm guessing. I don't know what the best iPhone timers
No,
are. Oh, you.
I'm not that white girl. I'm Android.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow. I'm impressed. All right. I use Chrono Puzzle. I think people use other stuff though. I just use Chrono Puzzle though. I don't know what the other Android popular phone timers are. I just grab Chrono Puzzle works and it's fine. Yo, what's up, Wending?
Okay.
Friends in the chat. Cubing time's another popular one. Cubing time or Chrono Puzzle. So then you can just like it's just naturally also forces you to time yourself basically every time, which is you're gonna be wanting timing yourself at least 80% of the time generally. So all right. Let's you do green cross, right?
Yeah, yeah. Everyone says I'm weird for doing that, but that's how I
It's not
learned.
that weird.
So
Only green, right?
okay, good.
No, if you do like orange or red, that's weird. Okay.
I'm getting
You,
horrible feedback on your end. Say that again.
yeah, orange or red are the weird ones.
Oh,
green.
really? Okay, those are the weird people out there. Okay.
Yeah, green is. I think Matt says green. I think Matt says green or green. He does green blue, but I think he just started green. But okay. So if you're doing just green, that's fine. Don't worry about it's not a big deal because if your goal is to get like under 20, you don't need to bother being color neutral. It's not significant at all. So, all right.
Okay.
Let's see what we got here. All right. How much of the cross are you planning in inspection?
Usually I guess okay, I'm trying to think now. When I usually locate all of the pieces and then I will definitely plan out 2 or 3 of the sides. I don't usually get my head wrapped around to get to that fourth piece, you know?
Right. Okay, that's pretty solid. Four is not. I'm trying to think for sub 20 if four is really necessary. If you're getting all four because you're cross, you definitely want to be getting three every single time though. Getting two is not. It's gonna leave you. It's gonna be tough just because you're still messing with two pieces, and just having one left, you can probably get that last one. It's easy to find and finish. Yeah, I'd focus on making sure you can get three every single time consistently. Because if you get three every time, you should be able to solve the first three in 2 seconds. Then your cross is still probably pushing like 3 or 4 seconds, which is fine. Trying to think of the splits or sub 20, but yeah, three. I'd recommend three. This first cross is a little shaky, but I'm assuming that's not as it's not your norm. Let's see. All right, pretty good on the ambidextrous. That's good to be to be able to do left and right algs is nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like a requirement. I mean, tons of, I can't do it, but it's always it's like a nice good fundamentals thing to be able to do. Okay, that's geez.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, there's a okay. So you definitely okay. For cases like, actually, I saw a case that's more okay. I won't go over this one. This one was fine. This is a fine way to do that case. Oh, okay. I'll go here. Because the thing I was going to mention is, okay, so partial edge control is going to be important. So, why does it have the thing? That's weird. Whatever. So if you have, you can see this, right? Yeah. If you have, all right, yeah, actually I got this case randomly. So if you have a case like this where you have the pair right here, right? And then you want to insert it in here. So there's two different ways you can insert. You can do the standard insert, which is this, right?
Yeah.
And then you can do a sledgehammer, which is just the term for doing instead of going like that, you go R prime and then F, R, F prime.
Whoa. R prime.
Yeah, so instead of
okay, yeah.
you bring the pair down first, and then you
slide it over.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so what that does is normally when you insert this pair, the orientation of these two pieces stays like it is. So notice these are both, like this one's not correct, and this yellow is also facing the wrong way. But if you sledgehammer it, these both flip. So now I got the full yellow on, I got the cross on top already. You can use this in... You can use this in, like, even in instances like right here where none of them are solved. You also want a sledgehammer because you're just going to get two solved immediately. So yeah, if these two are wrong, so that's called a partial edge control, which is it's a pretty intuitive way to start really cutting time off on your OLL step because it basically isn't any slower at all. It's easy to recognize, and then you save like one of the algorithms on OLL every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's I got it here. So it's down, flip it over,
Yeah.
flip it back and over.
Yeah, just like that.
Wow! Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. Fancy. Okay. Okay. Continue. This is so awesome.
All right. So okay, what's your OLL? Do you know? Okay, we can go through. I'll go through this. That's like this is not. Okay. Yeah. Uperm. All right. Yeah. Also, yeah. Just. Let's start the next one. All right. That was a better cross. First pair is standard. one's fine as well. In some of these cases, so like right here, like you have, in this case right here, which case, yeah. So like in this case right here, good.olls exists but doesn't seem relevant if you want sub 20. Yeah, you don't need good olls. Also, yeah, what cube are you using?
This is one that Rubik's gave me. It's their newest cube.
It's magnetic, right?
No, that's their other one, which I have. Oh, this one. Dude, this one's so cool. That's their Connect, where they
wait, yeah. Yeah, I got one of those.
Smartphone. It's so cool.
Wait,
yeah.
do they have
this one doesn't have magnets.
Wait, do they have one? Do they have a regular speed cube with magnets?
I don't think so. At least I mean, if they do, I don't have one. Okay. They might actually. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but I don't have that one.
I think there was a new one. You should ask for one with magnets in it because you should be using cube with magnets. It's just free. It makes it easier for free. There's literally no downside. You probably So
does it basically stop it from like going too far? Is that what it does?
Yeah, it just snaps into place, and it theoretically, if you turn perfectly, it hardly change anything, but no one does. So you wouldn't want it always just saves you a lot of mistakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure they have one with magnets in or something, so definitely worth getting one of those. Yeah. All right. So for this case right here, yeah, magnets are a bigger deal with big cubes, but they're still they're a huge deal on big cubes, but they're still important on medium cubes and 3x3. No one uses a cube without magnets on ever anymore. I don't think. A couple people that do
Except
blind.
For me,
yeah, basically. I think a couple people that do blind solving do no magnets, but that's rare. And I think it's not popular anymore. But oh well, that's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I think they have a new cube, so just get that. Let's see. Cool. So, right. So this case right here, you're gonna do a lefty. I guess the main point here is that you're gonna do you have. What case do you have? You had it like this. You had okay. You had this. You basically had this where the corner is setting up like this, and the edge is here.
Yeah.
And then you do you do this. You do kind of 3 moves a little awkwardly with your thumb, and then the F turns here, and then you rotate and insert it. There are just some instances where that's not worth it. You could just rotate immediately, and then doing it on the left hand side is just much smoother.
On your side.
So yeah, because having the ability to do things from a good angle is really important, but it's also not necessary if you don't know why you're kind of saving rotation. Bill Wang is a popular. I think is he a Rubik's ambassador? No, is he? I think he is. Bill Wang? I forget. Bill Wang might be a Rubik's ambassador. He's really fast, and he's one of the guys that's pretty popular, and he does not save rotations. He rotates more than probably any other elite 3x3 solver and solves, but it doesn't matter because he just does things really fluidly by not he'll just rotate and then do it from the better angle easier. And especially when you're not you don't need to save rotations that much. I just do whatever's more comfortable, just kind of finding the angle that's the easiest and then just always doing it from that angle.
That makes sense. Yeah. And when I first started, everyone was like, don't rotate the cube at all and stuff. But yeah, so if it does make it easier, go for it,
I don't like the don't rotate at all. Don't just when you're looking for pieces, you don't want to be rotating the cube to just find stuff, but if you want to rotate, if you have a purpose to rotate to make it easier, then you should just do that. It's fine.
And do it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so then this is also just another case right here. This is a great. This is just another case where if you right here, you notice you have none of the blues. You're gonna get 0 blues on top, and if you do a sledgehammer on the left side here, which is the same thing as on the right side, just mirrored, you're gonna get 2.
Wow. I have a feeling that's gonna change my life, isn't it?
Partial edge control is a really big really nice thing to like to start integrating into your solves at kind of a intermediate level because of how like simple it is to understand and how like it also can apply itself in like a lot of more complicated scenarios. If you're like looking at your only like your third pair, you can still start set up some stuff. But for this, so for we can go over the cases. That's the silicon case. Okay. I'm assuming for OLL you always do 2 algs, right? Like you do 1 alg to get all the blue cross on top, and then you do 1 alg to finish.
Yeah, I guess I do. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's fine.
You saying that there's more?
Yeah, you probably only know 10 OLL cases then, which is
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, and there's like 57, but you don't need to learn those for sub 20. 57 is not that much. All the good 3 solvers know like 200 algs for this stuff. Yeah,
You guys
57.
are a bunch of show off.
I don't know that many. I just know the basic stuff. But I'm also not good at 3 for partly because of that reason. But yeah, so okay, so then you're on PLL, right? So PLL, I'm assuming you also do you do 1 alg to get the corners all correct, and then you do 1 alg to get the edges, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be to go sub 20. I would recommend learning all the PLLs because right now you know 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you know 6. Okay, so there's 15 left, but they're not that hard, and they're really helpful because PLL like takes a long time. Just it's like I'd recommend learning full PLL over sub 20 and sticking with 2 look OLL. It's 15 more algs. They're not the shortest, but a lot of them are like pretty finger friendly and are easy to do quickly. So I definitely recommend doing that and not. You don't need to bother with any other algs for sub 20. Learning full OLL is obviously like the next thing after that. But then that's like 47 more cases, and so that's a lot bigger of a commitment than 15. And you can definitely get with 2 look OLL and full PLL. I mean, you can average sub 10 with that. It just like yeah, it just you'd have a really unbalanced. Your OLL step would like really suck relatively to like the rest of your solve if you were doing that. So that wouldn't really be a very balanced way of doing it. But yeah, I just recommend that for the rest of your algs because you can learn 15 algs probably pretty quickly. It's just kind of a pain. Yeah. You perm from the back. All right. We got.
Okay, I've got a weird question.
Yeah.
How do you mix up your cube? Do you have like a way that you make sure it's enough?
Yeah.
I just kind of like how to scramble it, you know?
Right. So yeah, I'd also highly recommend starting. So I'm actually like the worst top cuber that hand scrambling. Like I hand scramble way too much, even for like 4x4, which you're not supposed to. So if you have the app, like if you download the app that I sent you, on it you'll go to like the 3x3 and it will have. Where's 3x3? Events. How do I change events? I haven't used this app. Okay. Oh, actually, I can just pull up my other screen. So like this is the scramble that it generates. Like every single Rubik's Cube timer will generate a scramble for you, and then so you just read the scramble,
Gotcha.
and then and yeah, after a bit you get really fast at reading these. It does make it so you actually have to pay attention while you're scrambling and you're solving, which is the part I hate. So that's why I never read the scrambles on big cubes because it's too annoying. But for 3x3, it's kind of crucial because you actually will not scramble it efficiently by hand. It's like been proven that it's like somehow was proven that like you get less subsets, like subsets like aren't like I don't know. It's like legitimately a difference. While on big cubes, hand scrambling is essentially exactly the same thing. But yeah. Because all the apps, the timers will give you random state scrambles, so you can just read those off. And then, I'd definitely recommend timing everything and then using the scrambles from that.
Cool.
All right, cool. This one, I watched like the start spot. I think this one had. Okay, this was a really efficient cross, but you this was similar.
I made it confusing.
No, like you did it. It was okay, actually. Okay, so it wasn't like this like cross is great. You just want it to be smoother because like you have all the pieces. It looks like you're tracking them from the start, And it's not perfect, but like for sub 20, like this order of moves, like is probably only like 10, 9, 10, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 9 moves. So 9 moves is like completely fine for all the cross pieces. It just the start and like if you're only getting 3 pieces, getting the last piece you're going to look again and like pause. That's fine. But like your first, if you want to get your cross first 3 pieces every time, you should like. I guess like the general idea of practicing is you look at the cube and then you like close your eyes and then you do the first 3 pieces and you should be able to get that with 100% reliability. And then working on 4 is a lot. 4 is like significantly harder. Like the jump from 2 to 3 is not that hard, but the jump from 3 to 4 is a lot harder. I forget like
Yeah.
cross like methods of getting better are always kind of people where it's like figure it out is like kind of I've never like seen someone really go in depth on
Like cross algorithms or something.
there's no cross algs. There's like advanced cross building without like extra without like adding extra stuff on. But yeah.
Makes sense.
What? Oh, you went for red yellow here.
So what do you look for to see the easiest 2 pair? You know what I mean? The easiest to reach, the easiest to grab.
Right.
How do I find the easiest one first?
I'm realizing like how much when I like so first like in this scenario, so you finish your cross, right? The first thing I'm gonna see is first it just like look for every piece, like look for a pair where both pieces are in the top layer, like those are the easiest. But that's on your first pair relatively rare, because there's 8 pieces and there's 8 pieces in the top layer and there's 8 pieces in your F2L slots, and you need 2. Actually, I wonder what the odds are. Probably pretty, not that rare, I don't think. Actually, it's probably pretty common. Probably like half and half. I don't know how that works, but so like right here, since there isn't one in this case, I don't think, because this is a white piece in the back. Like right here, you can already see that green, white, and orange are sitting right here, and like this is a pretty simple case. I would have gone for this immediately because it's 6, 7 moves to finish this one. But it's really like the biggest thing is like the biggest holdup you're gonna have when you're in the intermediate level is finding your pairs and or executing on your pairs, because there's like once you get used to seeing every single pair combination for F2L, you can see the pair and then you can just kind of do it really fast. Like you just, because they're all the same at some point, like if you're not like planning out multiple stuff, which you don't need to be. So as long as you can identify, as long as you can go from I see these 2 pieces that match up together, and then I can, as soon as I see them, I know exactly what to do and I don't have to think about it. That is what like that kind of ability, it allows you to, okay, I found it and I can immediately do it without thinking, and then now like kind of while I'm doing that without thinking, I can now just like look for the next 2 pieces. And it's less about optimally picking your pairs, because at this point it's like you just need to find one, and then if you find one, you can do it quickly because you just know the moves like an algorithm. Finding optimal pairs is not. I don't know when people would recommend starting that, but not at this. Like not. I think you probably sub 15 before you really want to focus on finding the best pair versus just finding a pair quickly, because you just want to find a pair as fast as you can, and then. But yeah, being able to like do it on being as like an algorithm is really important, or else it's kind of pointless that you found it quickly. But that's like F2L is like, that's the whole thing, is like you figure out all the cases kind of intuitively and then you just do them over and over again. If you want like a good resource, you can like I'm assuming you like someone taught you how to do F2L and then you kind of like the basics and then you just figured out the cases like as you went along.
I pretty much Googled everything.
Yeah,
so,
but like for F2L, like
I pulled up. I learned how to do Like I literally just pulled algorithms off of this.
Okay. So you actually did do F2L more algorithm based, which is rarer and less. I don't know what's the best way right now, but I would say less kind of. It makes it a little harder because you didn't figure it out for yourself, and it's like
Yeah, it's not as intuitive. That makes sense.
Yeah, if you have the intuitive knowledge, it's nice, but you still pick it up by like just doing it. Yo, What's up? Thanks, Yoshimura Roy Lee. Thanks for the sub. Oh wait,
Good little.
anonymous gifter. Oh, thank you, anonymous gifter. The I don't know how this stuff works. Okay, how do I make this? Okay. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. Um. These are all pretty standard. Like that case. There's like some of these cases are like you just getting simple cases and then you just do them correctly. So there's nothing to do. Like this case, I'm assuming you're gonna do correctly. Like this is like right here. That's like there's just nothing to do. Like that's just the right case. You're doing the right alg here. Yeah. So like right here, I guess this is gonna be less relevant if you're gonna learn full PLL, but like you can start. This is kind of like a thing that goes along with. This would be more of the relevance on OLL. So OLL is a little harder, but so like all the last layer cases, like when you get to oh my god, why did yo, what's up? Thanks, an anonymous gifter, 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It is going to make the sound 5 times though, which
Crazy.
here, let me get to the point of the video. Let's see. Okay. So
This is my cat. Really, she wants to too. I'm sorry. I expected her to behave, and apparently she's not going to.
All right. So, oh my god. Okay, we can just wait. There's like how many more? One more. I appreciate it very much, an anonymous gifter. K-pop merch. I see. I don't know. I've been on Twitch so long. I forgot how it works. All right. So, if you've noticed, obviously, like when you get to different like when you have all the blues, so you're on PLL. Like if you do your first, it's the algorithm you're doing is called T-perm. I'm not sure if you're aware of the name.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so like in this case, you know it's not going to be done when you're like, you know this isn't going to be done, right? You're not going to skip. Like, yeah. So depending on what specific case you have, you're always going to get the next output. Like you're going to get a U-perm. After you do this, you're going to get a U-perm, and the bar in front's going to be like, you're going to have, like the orange was guaranteed to be solved in front there. So like if you already know that, you can go right into the U-perm immediately. This is not helpful because if you learn full PLL, you're going to be done every time, and it doesn't matter. But it is like for full PLL, it's worthwhile knowing like, so like here, this is like T-perm. And so like here, yeah. I know that I do T-perm and I'm still going to be a U2 away from being done because of how like it's oriented here. So you do T-perm and then a U2 automatically. So you just finish. This is less helpful here, but like on OLL, when you're doing 2-step OLL, for instance, let me set it up like here, if you're on 2-step OLL, I guess actually this is really complicated for OLL. I don't even know these. Never mind, this isn't that relevant anymore. More of a PLL thing where like just knowing based on what specific case you have and how it's like oriented, you just know what like you're gonna know what's gonna be the result after you do the alg, and you can go quickly into it as opposed to looking around again. Which here, yeah. But all right, that was pretty solid. You did ask if we could skip the next one, so I guess we can skip the next one. All right. Okay, yeah, cool. This is. We can do a couple more. I mean, at some point, it gets pretty. It's pretty similar. So look at this one. Because usually I have probably 3x3 H's. Yeah, it's usually over 5, and then it's like that was a pretty good cross. Basically, your cross building is like I'm trying to think. Oh, I also haven't swapped the video. Your cross building is, I would say, relatively better than, like, is a stronger part of your solve, I think, based on, like, the move count you seem to be having here. Like, that right there is pretty solid. Like, that was, like, a 2-second cross, which, 2.5 probably, which is, I think, 10%. 10% is pretty good, I think. So, yeah.
I'm doing 20, that should be about right.
Yeah. No, yeah, if you're getting, like, I'd definitely just, like, kind of validate by yourself quickly, like, can you do 3 pieces blindfolded every time? And if you're already able to do that, like, with 100% consistency, you could start really focusing on getting all 4, because that will save you a lot of time. if you can just do the blindfolded 4 every time, because then also it's like while you're looking for your first pair, you look for your second, or you're doing your first pair as an algorithm, you can look for your second pair. It's like while you're doing your memorized cross, you can start looking for your first pair, and then everything just, it gets everything flowing a lot more. And fluidity is like the most important thing at basically every single step. Like that's like, I mean, algorithms and stuff, Felix will be better than me at. That probably only accounts for like 0.7 of his like 3 seconds speed difference, like 2.5 seconds speed differential. Algorithms were probably like 0.7 of it, and fluidity is like the other 1.5 seconds. So, and that's like even at like
Wow.
a pretty high level. Although I'm not that high level in 3 anymore, but. Solid. Right here, this is just another. This is another just like, you know what I'm gonna say here. Like, what am I gonna say?
I don't
right
know
here?
what you're gonna say. I don't know what you're gonna say.
You can sledgehammer this. If you sledgehammer this edge,
wow.
you'll get
Okay.
yeah. They pop up a lot, like all the time, and they're just really useful. So. Otherwise, anti-soon. So your recognition's pretty solid on your 2 look OLLs, which is good. Okay, yeah, M-Slice is... Alright, yeah, that's pretty solid. Let's look at one more. Yeah, now it's mostly pretty much the same. I was going to go over your... You have a weird... Your OLL for dot case is not what I would... It's not... you could keep it, but it's a little riskier, I think. I'm trying to think the best OLL for dot case. Whoa. Okay, wait. That was weird. Okay, we definitely want to go over this case real quick.
Okay, cool.
Because most of the time, like, you're, I think it's like a trickier thing is when you have, like, a corner or an edge inserted and the corner or the edge is on the top. And they have to deal with it. Like, right here, do you normally do that? Like, this, actually, these last 2 cases. So you have, you do green, so you have right. You have this, so you have the corner right here, and then you have the edge here, and if you bring it up, they match.
Yeah.
So what you did first is you brought the corner out, and then you match them up, but you can just bring the corner out while matching them up at the same time.
I mean, I feel like that makes sense, like logically, but then like when you're in the moment, you're like...
Oh yeah, no. So there's a lot of like, it's like there's a lot of cases where like this is another example where you have the corner here, and then you have the edge in this position on top, and if you like, because basically you're gonna have to, in most of the cases you have to bring the corner out and then match them up. But if you bring the corner out in the right way, like this, now they're in the really easy 3-move insert. Versus there's other slower ways to do it. Like if you went like that, now you have this, which is garbage. Yeah. So there's just like, that's just something to be aware of, and you can intuitively kind of figure out. That's like, I'll actually go over practice like ideas and this after this solve, because this last one, I just want to go over this one case, and then like this is basically another similar thing. Like you have the edge inserted right here, and then the corners up on the top layer. And the way you bring them both to the top layer is kind of slow and puts you in this like not actually this case isn't too bad. It puts you in this case because but there's just slightly better ways to do it which you can experiment around with. Overall, last layer is I'm pretty fluid. Yeah. All right. So cool. What's the other thing? So yeah, last layer for like OLL I'd keep the same. The only one I'd recommend, you are currently using, you're currently using for this dot case, you're doing fur rough, right? And then you're doing fat fur rough. Actually, that's fine. And like, if you're already comfortable with this, there's like no reason to really update it. I don't think it's the best, but it's like, it's pretty fast. Yeah, you don't really need to update that if you don't like. It's not like gonna change that much, especially because if you start doing partial edge control, you're gonna get dots a lot less, which you're gonna notice, which is really nice.
Okay.
Like you shouldn't get dots that often. Like dots are already the rarest case. It's the same odds. Getting a dot's the same odd as getting a skip on that step. But But now if you partial edge
Okay.
control, skips get way more likely and dots get way less likely, which is nice. And then OLL's fine. I wouldn't. All your algs look fine. If you just pulled off the LayrNet, any recent alg sheet also would have the right ones. The same place you got your PLLs, I keep there. They look standard. I'd recommend learning them all because that's just like a flat instant time drop. If you get comfortable with all your PLLs, probably 2 seconds on average. It's probably a 2 second average drop, like right there. If you hit the same level of comfortability with all of them, because you're gonna be doing two-step. You do two-step PLL like almost every time. I think it's like 11/12 of the time you have to do two steps. Oh, maybe like 3/4. I don't know, it's a lot though. So yeah, and then the practice thing, like a lot of the stuff I was going over, like F2L, like experimentation with, you have one edge, the edge is inserted incorrectly, or like the edge is in the slot and the corner's on top, or the vice versa. Those are things that the alg sheets have, but aren't. Sometimes sometimes it's easy to have forgotten like what the alg sheet had, and then you just like, it looks like in a couple times you just do whatever it takes to get both pieces on the top layer, and then you handle the case, which is fine. But if you're gonna go, like, it's definitely something to focus on if you want to get under 20, is taking those more difficult F2L cases and making them a lot smoother, which is something that you can learn from the alg sheet to double check. But I'd recommend also just, especially because a lot of your practice, you said you're having to just mess around at work, or like you're not doing time solves. That's like a really good time, just like, okay, I don't have a good way to do this case. Let me pause and figure it out. And then that way later, when you are legitimately practicing with time solves, well, I guess you're still like legit practice, but like if you're like going for like time practice solves, then you'll be more like, then you'll know like, okay, maybe I'm not comfortable with this yet, and it's a little slower right now, but I know it's the optimal way, so I will get used to it now in this, and then you don't have to pause to like starting to think out. So yeah, and then overall, like, especially because you do have a decent amount of practice to do with, like, that's feasible to be done while just kind of casually messing around. It's just really important to be focused. If you're gonna split your practice time to be more heavily on casual practice, it's really important to use. That's like when you need to be overhauling, like not overhauling, just like be really aware of what can you be doing better. Like, because your practice, like when you're practicing and just sitting down, you do one solves for time. It's like, all right, I just want to drill in the things that I know, like, and get them muscle memory down, get my recognition down, like just drill in all the stuff that I already know. And then if you're just kind of like messing around and not timing yourself, it's when, okay, I can stop and like this case always gives me trouble. Why am I doing it so slowly? Let me figure out something better. Let me look it up real quick, and then you'll know for better. Yeah, I'd recommend also practicing a little more. That always helps. That's my number.
Always, yeah.
It's my number one. It's the number one recommendation is you can never practice enough. Is really what everyone's kept going for it. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean,
foolproof method.
Yeah. Also, if you get a new magnetic cube, that's probably 1 second right there. And then if we're in full PLL, it's probably 2 seconds. So you're already gonna, like, I think you can draw a flat 3 seconds on like really. Magnetic cube's the easiest thing ever because you just get it. Full PLL just obviously takes some work, but like it doesn't take that much like brain power besides rote memorization. You don't have to like really analyze what you're doing or anything. So that's also like, it's nice, easy, like we can just get there. And then like taking just some of the basic tips and like partial edge control plus getting good at that and some stuff. Like partial edge control could probably save you a second if you get really good at it, because it comes up a lot, I think. Maybe not a whole second, but it's some of that stuff. Yeah, it's getting. I honestly like also just, if you notice like your last layer is like really fluid, and then your F2L like kind of isn't running like an algorithm like some of the last layer cases are, like that is natural because there's so many more F2L cases and they're less like they're not, you didn't memorize them like Alex, but like that builds in over time and really like the F2L time drop is like huge. It's like the biggest time loss in intermediate solvers, F2L and cross, because they're more intuitive and like just require a lot of like kind of experience with. You can't learn an alg for every case because there's like basically like there's like an infinite number of cross cases, so like you just have to figure it out yourself. But yeah,